Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Matt Fryer Golf Podcast. It's myself, Matt, and we have Tom here. And today we are going to be talking a few different topics, Tom.
It's a long list we've got down today.
We've got a little bit of an apology from me.
About time.
Yeah, we've got... I've potentially found a new coach that we're going to be talking about.
Also about time.
Yeah. What to expect in driver release season, because we're seeing a few images starting to get leaked already of new drivers that are coming out, and it's getting close towards the end of the year, so it's always that time. Then we've got Would You Rather, and then a few questions from our good listeners.
All exciting stuff. New lessons, new drivers, new apologies.
Yeah.
Come on, should be ashamed of yourself. What are we apologising for?
Well, obviously, if you watch the videos over on the main channel, we have a series called In the Red, and that's me trying to break par, basically. I'm trying to get better, but I think the last few episodes I've maybe...
Trying to break clubs
more than anything. Yeah, there's been 2 club throws, and also just like a little bit of a sort of negative, whiny attitude from me. And, I've watched them back, and there have been a few comments on it, and... I just want to say, it's not very becoming, and I would like to, say sorry, and it's been noted. I know I'm trying to work on it. Even yesterday when we were out filming with Carter, there was still my mediocre golf, and I tried to just try and see the sunshine through the dark clouds.
Basically, they're now edited out.
Yeah, they're basically cut out of the pod, not the pod, the episode. But it's just one of those. I'm obviously on a journey to try and get better at golf, and I feel like I'm putting time in more than I have over the last couple of years on my game, but it just feels like I'm just trying to run through treacle at the minute and almost going backwards. But, we all have our trials and tribulations, and we're very lucky to be doing what we're doing. So
it's difficult, isn't it? Because we talk from a coaching point of view all the time about managing expectations. I think that's ultimately where your head goes, is you've put the work in, you expect more, and then get more frustration from it. You can sit there and give advice. Sometimes it's difficult to take your own advice as well.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly that.
Yeah, and it's just one of those, isn't it? And what's been more annoying, it's not as if I'm playing... If we look at the 18 holes, I'm having 14 holes where I'm actually like, oh, right, this is good, but then it's just like 4 holes of, just bad, like sloppy decisions, really bad shots, and they end up, causing me to make... I've literally had a double in every single round I've played for the last 5, 6, 7 rounds maybe, and it just, wears thin a little bit. But I will try to be better and not to be throwing any more clubs and having the little negative-y, whiny ones. I'll just be... The only thing to probably caveat it with is I do have a very dark sense of humour, and a lot of the time people are like, why are you being like that? It's like, well, I'm actually taking the mick here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
We spoke about that a couple of weeks ago with you being really nice to Graham Cox and horrible to me on the golf course, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I accept it.
Yeah.
It's you.
I'll work on that, maybe.
Apology accepted for club throws. No more, please, Matt.
Right then, that's going to get better, and I am aware of it. But
new coach, go. Tell
coach.
Me.
Yeah, so... Obviously, with me not playing good golf at the moment, not that, it's Dad's fault or anything like that. I just want to explore some other avenues and, have a fresh set of eyes on my golf swing, and maybe give me a new feel and maybe look at it from a different perspective. And we actually went out filming a video with Carter yesterday, Andy Carter, who obviously I've known for, 10 plus years now. I've played a lot of golf with him, filmed with a lot, worked with him at Trafford Golf Centre for a brief period. And
as well as doing YouTube videos, he's very much an active coach still.
Yeah, he does a lot on
lessons.
Skillist, and then he does some down at Bristol Golf Club where he's attached, where he now lives down that way. And obviously he was out in Dubai for 4 or 5 years working under Pete Cowan, so he knows his stuff. And we were out yesterday filming a video for us, and then we filmed a video for him in the afternoon, and that was me getting a lesson from him around the golf course.
I'm guessing it went well if you think you've found a new coach.
Yeah.
Potential.
What was interesting, like I say, a new set of eyes on everything, it was that what he's got me working on and what he was suggesting about my golf swing and what he would do if we were, moving forwards. And Dad's like pointed this out, but it's never been the main focus, and it's a totally different sort of way of me not trying to hit the golf ball in a totally new way and, you know, rebuilding my golf swing, as it were, but the focus is somewhere totally different.
Kind of a new swing thought as such.
Yeah. So it was quite interesting, actually. We were at Formby Ladies, and I hit some shots that I thought, like, whoa, I've not hit that in a while.
Okay.
In a good way.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It wasn't a shank, was it?
Yeah.
We've seen them.
And that was the other week with Pete. Which, on another note, Record Breakers will be out. If you are listening to this on audio, it's coming out later.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this, hopefully it's either out Thursday evening or Friday morning. Record Breakers will be out.
Big, fun Record Breakers.
It's the best one yet.
I loved the reel that Joe put out the other day. The amount, that was hilarious. Just watching you fumble your lines, Pete struggle to catch a ball and make a putt. You delivering some terrible throws as well, to be fair.
There was only one bad throw. Slightly short. Yeah.
That was good fun. Good day. So that'll be a good video.
That is out. But yeah, so it was quite interesting, and whether I carry on going to Carter, I don't know. I'm speaking to a couple of other coaches in the background at the moment as well, and do want to explore getting some lessons with them, because it's guys who I've followed and sort of looked up to as I was a coach, and always liked their style of coaching and what their sort of looks and outlook on the golf swing would be, and even like a short game one as well. So it could be, it might be that in 2-3 months he becomes full-time coach for me, which would be really weird.
I hope he's not giving you a discount.
No
mate rates.
No.
Good.
He used that what did he use in the lesson? Sports box. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've looked into it a little bit.
It was quite interesting. Yeah, it was very good, considering we're out on the golf course and he was able to use that tool as well. It was quite a handy little thing. So it was quite an interesting day out on the links. I won't give away what we worked on or because we did it as like a challenge for me to shoot a certain score, and also for him to look at my golf game. I had 3 things that I wanted to address during the 9 holes, and we covered all of them. And even he gave me a chipping lesson as well. And I've always thought I've been fairly decent with chipping, but he sort of decluttered my brain and what I was trying to do with all my shots. And that was good as well, and giving me something to work on there. So it was overall very, very promising moving forward, really.
Now, I know you're not giving any sort of spoilers on what you've been working on. Yeah. So all I've been thinking about for the last 5 minutes is you were at Formby Ladies. What cake did you have?
Lemon drizzle.
Lemon drizzle.
We all had a lemon drizzle cake, and they were truly exceptional.
Such a good clubhouse. Yeah. And service and cakes and coffees and beers. Love it. Lemon drizzle.
I think it should win Hospitality Award of England.
Of the decade.
Yeah, well, of any golf club that ever existed.
So good.
Yes.
Class. Excellent. Anything else to report from the car today? Or is everything else secretive until the video's out?
No. We played battle golf. So we had it was a Fujikura video that we were doing, so there's a twist in there with that. It was an 18-hole stroke play battle golf, and for long-time viewers of Matt Fryer Golf, you will all know that battle golf isn't my strong suit. I don't know why I pick it.
If you don't know what battle golf is, just go into the archives of the channel and watch a couple of those videos.
They are fantastic.
Class.
When I chose to do it, I was like, right, okay, let's think of the format of this video. Okay, there's a twist with the Fuji side. What else can we add into here to make it like a really good, exciting video and just keep you hooked all the way through? And I was like, I don't want to, but I know it will. And that was battle golf. And basically battle golf, for those that don't know, you start off, whether you're playing 9 holes, 18 holes, whatever it may be, and you can play with a half set, full set. But if it was me versus Tom, I go down the first, make a par, Tom makes a bogey, I get to take a club out of Tom's bag, and he can't use that until he either beats me on another hole and takes it back, or he then takes one of my clubs away as well. So over 18, obviously, if you lost every hole, you couldn't finish the game. You can't take putter. That was the only rule we have. So, you could finish the game. You'd have to put your way around there, which would be just comical. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know why I chose the format, but entertainment, because I just do so bad at it. But
not a fan, are you? Not a fan of having to...
Yesterday was good, though.
Okay.
Yesterday was... It didn't start off well for me, but then it changed. There was a lot of twists and turns in this video. It was like, you could probably break it into, I reckon, five 3-hole matches.
Okay.
And it would be hilarious.
Fair.
It was real, and there was some really good golf as well, which was quite interesting. So yeah, it was great, and the course as well, considering that what day is it today? It's Thursday, Wednesday. On Monday it rained, didn't it?
Last week,
Sunday,
back end of last week was when we
horrible.
got a really bad 2 days, sort of 48 hours of just rain.
You wouldn't know it had rained.
Oh, good.
It was just bone dry. Greens were great. It was just immaculate, Nick. It's such a good place there, and if you've not been, you've got to go over, and if it's a little bit higher than you would expect to pay maybe for a green fee, use it as like your one winter treat to go and play. But it was class. Really, really good.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, so a lot of fun would be had in that video. Can't wait for it to come out. Can't wait for that one.
For everyone listening, when do we think that one's getting out? 2 weeks?
I think it's next week.
Back end of next week.
Yeah. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Just need to have a look at schedule. Get into the diary.
Look at the schedule and edit out the club throws.
Yeah.
All 27 club throws apparently you had yesterday.
I had none.
27 tempers.
I had none, and you'll see none.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Changed man again.
Exactly.
You've been a changed man. We've had 22 episodes of the podcast. You've been a
23.
changed man 5 times.
Reformed character. The system doesn't work.
The reformed toddler.
Yeah. Right, okay, Tom, we're going to move into driver release season and what to expect. The reason we're talking this is for those of you that don't know, or I would say this is quite like a golf nerdy kind of thing. There's a list called the conforming and non-conforming drivers, and every golf club that is manufactured has to go through a tolerance test to see that with a driver, for instance, the ball doesn't come off faster than 1.5 times the speed that it goes into it. So as the ball's hitting it at 100 miles an hour, the club face, it can only come off at 1.5. So clubs are sent to the R&A and the USGA by the manufacturers, Mizuno, Callaway, TaylorMade, whoever it may be, or anyone who makes a golf club that wants to be sold or used in competition. And they go through these tolerance tests. Now, what you will see from this is that they produce a list, and every driver, I think it's anything after 1997 has to go through this test. Mm-hmm. There is 1,184 pages of clubs on this list.
I've read them all.
Have you?
Nope.
No. Front to back. Yeah, you can go through and, like, not to pick on certain brands. You know who had loads? Adams of, like, I never knew how many drivers Adams have made.
Yeah, but when are we talking there? Sort of maybe a 5-year spell from 08. They were doing quite well in the hybrid. The hybrid room, weren't they?
Yeah, and then they sort of had a resurgence. But anyway, they get sent in, they get tested. If they pass these tests, they're then put on and say, yep, this is a conforming driver. It can now be, sent to market or be used in competition standards. So, and what you'll get from that is that a lot of your tech channels or sort of tech insiders, maybe, like your My Golf Spies, your SMS on Tour and people like that, or even like the publications like a Golf World or Today's Golfer, every Monday this list is updated. So I would expect someone who's in the the review department or the tech department of said business will sit there and trawl through that list, all 1,184 pages of it.
Yeah.
And you'll start to see different drivers appear around about now, because what you'll generally see is that coming into January, all the big companies release their drivers. So first week, second week, third week of Jan, embargo week as we would call them, drivers are released to the public. So even today, as we're actually filming this, we could have been with Callaway. We've been invited out to Sota Grande in Spain to go and have a look at all their product for 2025. But you start to get these images appear. One of them Cobra, the Dark Speed Adapt.
Yeah, seeing that one
has come out on the conforming list. You can go and see that for yourself there. Have a look at the images, and all you get is basically an image of the driver's sole, the base of it. Don't get the face, you don't get the crown, you don't get like hosel view or anything like that. But it gives you an idea as to what's coming, and it starts to sort of spark the interest of, people like us who would review clubs traditionally, people who are, like I say, a little bit tech nerdy, or the forums. You look on Golf WRX, the forums are starting to pop off now. Oh, have you seen what's going on? But
a lot of speculation as well. You see some of those comments and you think, where are you getting this information from?
Why would you? Yeah. So we just thought to ourselves, well, we don't want people, going out there, especially us being at coaches, you more so at Trafford, where there is a big retail store below the teaching bays. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of people come in and go, oh, I got the new such and such, and it's going to fix me. Now, we thought we would just have a look at, what you should do and what you shouldn't do when it comes to driver release season.
Yeah, okay.
Which is pretty fair, isn't it?
I think so.
And then we'll have a little speculation ourselves on what's to come, because that would be my first question, Tom. Technology in the driver heads, are we going to see much different next year?
I mean, if you believed everything that the brand said, then we're almost maxed out, aren't we? We're the most accurate we could ever be. We're the longest we could be. And that's kind of where we are. I think there's been a big shift over the last 2 to 3 years away from, as you've just been talking about, the faster swing speed, the smash factor. We spoke about it, I think, 3 podcasts ago on a coaching podcast of that sort of low spin, high launch drive that everybody was after. And over the last 2 years, we're seeing these almost sciencey sort of words, the 10K, the QI10, all talking about basically moment of inertia. So for those people who don't know, it sounds quite fancy. Moment of inertia is ultimately the stability of the club face, isn't it?
So stop the twisting.
It's about the toe not either accelerating past the heel not accelerating past the toe. So over the last couple of years, the brands are thinking we're going to have to start pushing the accuracy sort of levers on the golf clubs, because we can't keep claiming to gain an extra 20 yards.
Yeah.
So I think we're definitely seeing a lot more of the accuracy sort of sell to people, and it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, like you say, I think the consumers now become wise to it all almost, haven't you? So. Like it was, like you say, you're going to be... I always remember the TaylorMade one, and it was brilliant marketing, that 17 yards longer when Rocket Balls came out, and Jet Speed, was it? And you had like the board, like I had my fitting and I gained X amount of yards. Mm-hmm. Remember those?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there'll be anything that you go that like. There's nothing revolutionary, I would say. I think the looking at like, well, where are the benefits for your everyday golfer? That forgiveness aspect has got to be top of the pile, because drivers are, ultimately the hardest club to hit. It's got the least loft, longest shaft.
And I think you can't think that all of these massive companies now don't all have their ball speed at capacity.
Yeah.
Of course they do. They all have the ability to go past capacity and break those regulations you were talking about before to non-conforming. So they're all at max ball speed for swing speed anyway, really. They can all achieve a 1.5 smash factor. So they can't keep saying we're going to hit it further unless they make you faster.
Yeah, the only distance gain really is that from the toe and the heel, isn't it? It's going further off the miss hits nowadays. It'd be impressive if they could get 1.5 across the whole face.
Of course it would. And that was the big, you just said marketing about the TaylorMade. That was, I think, the best bit of marketing last year probably came from Callaway, where they had all the numbers across the face. So like plus 12 yards towards the toe and kind of plus 7 yards towards the bottom. Yeah. I think people seen that bit of marketing as they're going to hit it further from that point.
Yeah, you hear what you heard, what was it? Downrange dispersion was like the big tagline as well, wasn't it? Like, which, and that comes back to that forgiveness, doesn't it? We're not all going to find that middle of the face every time. So when we're not doing that, we still want it to be, not 30, 40 yards back of that one that I hit nicely. You want to hit a good one and it goes 10 yards further, hit the mediocre one and you go, still in the ballpark.
Yeah.
But, knowing that you we know that the customer's pretty much a little bit more switched onto it. What would you say, if you were advising one of your lessons and they said, I'm looking at a new driver, and you said, well, why? What would be 3 things that you advise them why they shouldn't buy a driver just because this new driver has come out?
Why they shouldn't buy a driver? Well, first of all, if there's any major swing faults, if you're standing there hitting everything off the toe of the driver and complaining about your driver, then let's have a little play with the swing first. So yeah, if there's any big swing faults, I think in terms of are the 3.
I've got another one.
Go on. Where would you go?
So if like that, are you looking for it to fix a fault?
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to.
No, of course not.
Unless it was.
Yeah. You might get the draw bias.
Yeah, it might straighten you out ever so slightly, but if you're swinging it 20 degrees from out to in and the face is pointing 15 degrees right of that, for the right-handed golfer, we are slicing it. No shape of head is ever going to fix you in that sense.
Correct.
I would then go, well, it depends, and everyone, I think, with this is different on budget. Some people, and we'll sort of say something at the end of when we get through this, but is
keeping up with the Joneses next door really is one, isn't it?
Is Paradigm X that much different to Paradigm AI Smoke?
Possibly not. Probably not.
Can you get a G425 instead of the G430? If we tested them side by side, are we going to see a noticeable difference for you as Jeff, the 20 handicapper? The only difference we might see is £200, £100 in the money that's leaving your account. Yeah,
if you've got a driver from last year's range or even the year before's range, and you're going to buy it just to be the guy with a new head cover, don't bother. Go and play a really nice golf course and buy a head cover.
Ladies, yeah.
And buy a head cover.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
So if you're trying to be the person with this year's model, because it looks good, or you're trying to keep the same brand, you're trying to look like the player, and it's not necessarily going to change your game, feel free if it's going to keep your game the same, but if it's possibly making your game worse, then do not bother.
I think that would, and there's probably not really another reason, isn't there?
Well, they're the reasons people go and buy golf clubs are, 1, to hit the ball better, and there are times where you might have got an ill fitting last time, you might have not got fit at all. Your swing might have slightly changed, you may have got quicker, you may have got slower if you've aged a little. Plenty of things going on there. And then the other one is because we like shiny stuff. We're all magpies. Us golfers are all the same. We like the shiny new clubs. If somebody could turn around to you and say, there's a full new set of this year's model, do you want it? And you can have the bag to match. We're probably all taking it.
Yeah.
So that's part of it as well. And if that's what you want, then fine. But just make sure you get fit and understand there aren't big gains. Yeah.
I would say as well, like one thing there, you talk about fitting. Hopefully nowadays everyone's at least hitting golf balls with the club that they're buying. Hopefully they're not walking in, pointing at one on the shelf and pulling it off and saying, that one will do for me. That's a regular 10.5 in the ping. That is good. I would hope, that is happening throughout, every golf store. You're getting a few hits in the net. You're seeing some numbers, hopefully all in a formed way, so you can get an idea of what actually works best. It might be a comparison of stiff, regular, loft heights. But one of the other things as well is, like, have you actually tuned your driver lately? I would say, a lot of people go, oh, well, the new Paradigm's out now. That's going to help me get better because it's da-da-da. Well, a year ago, you walked out of it and you had, the weight on the weight plate that was in the toe slightly, and it was set at, +1 in a neutral. Have you maybe thought that actually -1, weight more central, like go and have a refit on your driver as well before, like, is there something that'll be 5 times less in cost than a brand new driver? You could go to one of the stores or one of the club fitters, and it might be even as well looking at a different shaft. Everything, every driver nowadays comes with a head that is connected to a little screw, so you go, right, unscrew, right. It might be a case of paying £100 for a new shaft and it feels like you've got a brand new driver, but going to see a professional saying, well, it's a bit like, your MOT, or you're looking at a diet or something and saying, this is where I was at I've had some lessons with Tom. I feel like I've got better. I feel like I'm actually a little bit quicker nowadays, actually, and I'm finding it a bit more middled. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, yeah, actually, we can see that weight in the toe and that little bit more loft actually isn't for you. If we just crank it here, do that, let's have a look. Right, 10 shot. Oh, can you see the difference here? Your spin's actually dropped ever so slightly by 250 revs. Your club head speed's up from where you were 12 months ago. So we can actually knock a degree of loft off and you'll still maintain the ball flight you want there instead of, just get the new one in that model as well.
Yeah, I mean, only 2 days. What day are we now? Wednesday. So Monday afternoon, I had a lesson, and students had come in with a low spin driver with a 6.5, so an extra stiff shaft.
And you're not told him to listen to the pod.
And mid-spin should have. And ultimately, I ran down to the shop. They kindly allowed me to borrow just a 6.0 Project X shaft, so a stiff. We cranked the loft just up a degree, and spin rate went from 1800 up to 3200 with a bit of a different shaft. They straightened out a little bit. It was much more efficient.
Yeah.
We come to the conclusion that the head's probably a bit too unforgiving as well, so we could possibly go and have a look at some new drivers. But just with a little shaft change and a little setting, as you say, on the hosel, everything changed.
Yeah.
We watched the dispersion get a bit tighter. We watched the strike improve, which probably comes more from the weight of the shaft. He wasn't fighting so much with it.
Yeah.
The head was still giving him a bit of a hard time, but just that little bit of loft on as well, spin increases. And most of the time, as you know, in golf lesson, we're working with swing.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody comes in with a bit of equipment where I just have to go, hang on a minute. We
what
could
are you
make
doing?
our job a lot easier here, make my job a lot easier, and almost say, go and try something new, try something a little bit softer. We were laughing about my the driver I had started this year, and I've just gone from low spin, and when I hit that Cobra I had, it was long and it was high, but when I didn't, it was shocking. It was all over the place.
180 carry and
it would roll out. I've changed this year to a softer feeling driver, definitely. Ball speed's 5 mile an hour slower. Not going as far, but a bit more fairways.
Yeah.
Definitely hit more fairways, and I feel like I'm just a more comfortable golfer.
Yeah, your sort of bad to good ratio has probably got better, hasn't it, as where it was night and day between the other two prior.
And if you put my best drive with the older driver against the best drive now, the old one's 30 yards further.
Yeah.
But it's not playing good golf.
Yeah, they're every 1 in 10
Exactly,
yeah. Yeah, that isn't, and I think, that's a lot of like where a lot of people do fall down in this new, like thinking, this is going to be the answer, and we'll be quick to go and get that driver and think, right, well, that's it, done. Like as opposed to looking at, right, okay, just a little tinker there, having some lessons, okay, well, actually understanding that, you've got to put in what you get out a little bit of your golf swing as well, haven't you, to try and find, a bit more consistency with it. But I think if we can do that as driver season comes around, and also the good thing now, like we said a moment ago, when these ones are coming out, the new models, or this year's models as we're in now, they drop straight away.
Not by much these days, though.
Not,
like 30
not
quid.
Massively.
Not a huge amount.
Yeah.
But the big benefit is, it used to be a case of when the new driver come out, the old driver was no longer custom fittable.
Yeah.
They still are now.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be a case of, well, if you want to be custom fit for a driver, it better be this year's model. But now there's that many sort of leftover shafts, or they keep the shaft, the hosels, all the fittings the same.
Yeah.
So you can keep just moving generation and take your shaft with you as such. So yeah, there's so much more access these days. Like I say, or like you say, there's hope nobody's hitting golf balls these days or buying a driver without hitting it first.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know people that do, just because they can't be bothered. But you think, why?
Yeah,
why?
What do you think we're seeing this year? Because we were talking before about we're at kind of the second generation of the Ping G430. So we've had the G430, then the 10K Max.
Yeah.
I think this, I might be wrong, we're at the second generation of Paradigm with the AI Smoke, and the whole branding might change this time. Or do they do AI Smoke Mark II? I don't know. What we've seen in the past is kind of Stealth 1, Stealth 2, M3, M4, 430, then 430, 10K Max Golf Driver with the long name.
Yeah. Well,
anybody going to sort of break the surface and go with a brand new one this year?
The only people I would say that would do that is Callaway. because historically with Callaway you would go like, so it was Epic, Maverick, Epic, Maverick, Epic, Maverick. They alternated.
Next to an Epic Speed, wasn't it?
There was a Maverick in between.
Maverick in between, yeah.
And they would have the Big Bertha lineup as well.
Where did the Rogue fit into that?
So then that was Epic Rogue as well. Epic came first, then there was Rogue ST.
Yeah.
Then there was Maverick, was probably pre then. TaylorMade obviously went Sim, then they went Sim 2, then they went QI10, which is basically a Sim.
Was the Stealth not first? Stealth was in between them.
Oh, sorry, Stealth.
And then Stealth 2.
Sorry, Stealth 2, yeah.
And then QI10. So they've got to go with another generation of QI, I would assume. Yeah? No?
Yeah.
They've got to, surely.
Well, what would it be? It'd be QI 10K
Max Golf Driver Bomber.
Max 2.
Yeah, maybe. I think
Right.
Ping not ready to go. Because they've gone 425, 430, 430 10K max. Do they not go for 35 now?
I think Ping will bring something out. Ping will bring a new driver out.
Titleist have only just left the TSI and gone to GT. So
Yeah, they've got the 3 and the 4, so you'll see September time. 1 and 4. I know they've got 4 already, so they've got GT2, GT3, GT4. So a 1 will come out later on in the year.
And we know the Cobra have stuck to dark speed. They've gone DS.
They've got dark speed adapt.
DS adapt. That's it.
I think there'll be less drivers in their lineup. They had 3 last year. I think there's 2. So yeah, I don't. That I think the only one that would be the big change would be TaylorMade, and they don't have carbon in the face.
Okay, because they've done carbon in the face for 3 driver releases.
1, 2, yeah.
And you think that's ready to be out?
I don't know. There was just like the good drive, like that Q10 was an improvement. Like from the first Stealth to where they got to QI10.
That Stealth, that first one got ripped apart, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a little bit. It just dropped out the air. Some of the spin numbers were wild, but Stealth 2 was really good.
Interesting one. Just while we're on Club Face, I don't know if you know this. I was chatting to he used to be a fitter on tour, and a couple of months ago, McElroy, they do testing on the range to check if they're conforming drivers. Yeah. When the face is about to break, like close to breaking point,
does it glow?
The smash factor goes through the roof. Yeah. And they will just then be non-conforming because they get so close to breaking point. If you don't get tested at that point on the range, because you're not one of them, you'll be out there with a big driver,
a bomb,
and it might then break during that round. But anything where the face is just about to crack. And it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah, faces
it's just thinner, that extra little trampoline out of it, which I found quite interesting. You can gain like 15 yards from nowhere. Ooh. So basically...
Should we just start sanding our driver faces, see if we can get a few more yards out of them?
No one's testing us.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's good, yeah.
Technically a conforming driver.
Yeah, and that's always funny, like, as well, when you see... it makes me laugh on, like... Is it PGA Tour when they have like, TrackMan stats are up now and it's like 1.58 smash factor and you're like, it's illegal.
Misread. Yeah. Or nearly broken club face.
Yeah, inflated stats maybe. Yeah.
They've got it on range ball.
Range ball. Wow, it's so fast. Yeah. So I don't like...
Sorry, back to the carbon face. You think it might be gone?
I don't think it will be, but that would like, I think with Callaway, they've obviously, like, you look at, if you went through what each sort of company's doing, Titleist, obviously already released, they've got their aerospace grade material in that they nicked it off a rocket or whatever it may be. So it's the same stuff that gets used on some rockets, isn't it, and things like that. So it's super strong, super thin, can be molded to however. So that's their thing. Cobra, they're into 3D printing. Yeah. So they're not going to do anything crazy, I would imagine. Actually seeing the driver, what it looks like from the top, it looks quite nice, to be fair. I think it's an improvement on last year's one. I thought last year's one was good. These images as well are always in black and white, so they were all like obviously dark speed because what was it, light move, sound moves faster than light, or I can't remember what the tagline was from last year. Moves faster than the sound speed of light.
Yeah.
So it was all black. But I think a little bit of colour on this year's one, looking at what the head looks like, will look really good.
Well, I think, and this image might be wrong again, on the bottom's they've gone to blue and white again, which was the Aerojet.
Yeah,
blue and white on the bottom.
Well, the only image I've seen is that black one.
But again, don't know how true it is.
Yeah. Callaway, supercomputer. Everything's AI, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we've used our computer to generate this. TaylorMade, carbon face. So what's if they ditch the carbon face, what's going to be the USP for them? So that's like, but then there's been the breakages of clubs, which, even like Finchy broke 2 or 3 of them.
Has it happened as much with the QI10?
No,
I was going to say,
happened, yeah.
I felt like everybody was breaking the Stealth originally.
So that would be my only thing. I would go, oh right, okay, I'm interested in this, because they're all good drivers. They all perform. If you fit it correctly, you're going to get the club. If you went to any brand, you'll find one that works for you. Ping will play it as they always do, nice and steady,
straight as a die, straightest driver you'll see.
Yeah,
mightn't go too far, but
So I don't think we're going to see anything that is like mind blowing.
No, I don't think so this year.
That TaylorMade would be my only one that I would say.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's a decent take. Be interesting to see if that does happen. I think they might flip the coin one more time on that one, they always seem to go in pairs, TaylorMade. So because sort of the Stealth 1 and 2, QI deserves another generation maybe.
Yeah.
They've always done M1, M2,
M3,
M4. Everything seems to come in those 2s.
Yeah.
So they'd have to break a little bit of a mould, but you could be right.
You
used the QI10 for the first part of this season?
Yes.
A couple of months, maybe?
Yeah, about 3 months. Liked it, to be fair. Good driver. It was, I hit probably some of my longest shots I've ever hit with it. As a driver. Definitely felt like I didn't have the LS model. So it's Plus, Standard, Max, wasn't it? I think I just had the Standard one. Yeah. And I did hit some crazy numbers out there, but then just couldn't quite keep it on the planet sometimes as well. Yeah. Which was obviously the driver's fault and nothing to do with me. Anyway, so just make sure if you are getting into driver season and you're looking at just going through that little checklist that we've had there to make sure that you're not so, drawn in and wasting money. Ultimately, go and maybe invest it on some lessons. If you think that the driver's going to fix your bad golf shot, go and buy some lessons. If it's to get the new fancy model, and the other big thing as well is if you like buying the new model every year and you can afford to do so,
do it.
Go ahead, go like nothing. If you can afford it, great, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that as well. It'd be like, why have you got 5 Rolexes? Well, I can afford 5 Rolexes. Great, good on you.
Again, just as long as you don't get worse.
Yeah,
as long as you don't get worse.
Yeah, improves keeps you at the same level, and you get a nice new head cover with it. But
and if you've got the spare cash and you don't like the new drivers, we'll take donations.
Yeah,
we'll take the cash.
Yeah,
or go and buy a Scotty. Go and buy a really expensive Scotty.
No, overrated.
Collect them.
No, unless from when 2010.
Go and
maybe.
buy an old Scotty.
Yeah, old school Scotty. Yeah. Right then, Tom. We're going to move on. We're getting. Do you want to do Would You Rather, or let's hit some questions up?
Questions first.
Hit some, then we'll give you. I've got a really good Would You Rather, by the way.
I've got a couple.
I was.
You've got the questions today. You've done the prep. What have we got coming in?
So. Right, I'm going to let you answer these, and I'll chime in if it's related to me.
Matt Fryer, the course master.
Favourite courses you've played, or favourite course you have played in Ireland, from Marty Kilduff.
Favourite course as an experience, Old Head. As views and experience, it was blue skies. We were 7 a.m. tee time.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Not my favourite golf course as a course. I haven't played a hell of a lot. I've done a 1 week trip over there, maybe played another couple of weekends. I think I've got to say Ballyliffin is my favourite golf course, the Glashidi Links, I think, is the one that they play the Irish Open on.
Yeah.
There's 2 there.
Yeah.
Ballyliffin I'm going with. I haven't ticked off the likes of Royal County Down. I'm sure it'd win if I had. Can I guess yours? Island Club.
Definitely. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, Old Head I played Old Head about 4 times as well, and that was class.
It's so fun.
Yeah, there was just a few holes that I was like,
I call them the A to B holes.
Yeah.
You play lovely holes around the coast, and you've got to get from A to B somehow.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you've got to transport from the amazing par 3 over the cliffs to the amazing par 5 over the cliffs.
Yeah.
And you've got to play inland for a couple of hundred
I played
yards.
a few holes at, what's the one, not Port... Where's the Open next year? Royal Portrush.
Portrush next year up, yeah.
So it's Port Stewart that's down the road, isn't it?
Yeah,
Played 9 holes there. That was class as well.
Port Stewart will get Irish Open. It won't. I don't think it'll get the Open because I don't think they got the space. I might be wrong. But Portrush gets the Opens and Port Stewart had the Irish Open, I think.
Yeah. Chris Jenkins, who is your new coach and what changes have you made? Also, have you thought about doing any meetups with the big name content makers from America? We've answered the coach bit, sort of. Carter, potentially, yeah, we're doing that. And on big meetups, that is something that we're trying to work on for maybe sort of February, March time next year. I have actually been texting a few of the guys, so George Bryan today, Grant Horvat dropped him a message as well, so hopefully we can get something sorted, and potentially there might be a myself and Pete going out and doing some stuff and doing 2v2s and so on.
And Chris, just go and comment on their videos saying you should collab with Matt Fryer.
Yeah.
Just let them know.
Exactly.
So anyone listening, go to any big channels and say collab with Matt Fryer, please, and I'm sure it'll be easier for us.
Yeah. Matthew Wickham asks, my sandwich is a 54, looking for a lob wedge. I am reading that it is best to go up in increments of 4 degrees, so a 58 is the one. What bounce would you recommend for lob shots around the green, say chipping over bunkers, etc.?
Okay, I'll go bounce first. It fully depends what sort of turf you're playing off, what your golf course is like. If you're playing a sort of sloppy Parkland course, you're going to want a little bit more bounce.
Is that how they're described? Sloppy?
Sloppy at the minute. It rained a lot last week.
Wet. Sloppy?
Nope. Sloppy mud. You're going to need more bounce. If you're on links, you've got a lot of tight lies. You want to start to see that leading edge maybe getting a bit closer to the ground, then you'll want less bounce.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you can get wedge fittings really easily these days as well.
Yeah.
So many different grinds and options with that, then it's a difficult question to answer unless I kind of know what you're playing on.
If you were they're definitely right on course conditions, and then pigeonholing with like how you attack the golf ball. So if you're steep versus shallow, if you're shallower, you want less bounce. If you're steeper, you want more bounce to help it come back up out of the turf. But like Tom said, there's that many options now, and a lot of places do it. Mizuno are actually doing a full wedge fitting kit where you can try one. There's 5 heads, and they turn into, I think it's 4 different options from one head.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely go. I would go and find out, go and fit. But you want versatility, I would say, in it as well.
Most people go mid, but we're having one set of wedges. If you're fortunate enough to have 2 or 3 and swap them out, but most people have one set of wedges, and most of the time end up with that sort of mid bounce. What was the start of that question? Increments of degrees?
In 4 degrees. Yeah, it all depends on your gapping, doesn't it? So however far you're hitting your 54, find something that's the gap from the 50 if you've got that. So 15 yards, 20 yards, whatever it may be.
Again, what I would say, you're very rarely, depending on kind of what you're playing off as well, you're very rarely hitting full shots with that 58 and 54. So my opinion is most people don't need a 60.
Yeah,
you can do everything with a 58. You don't need to go too high in loft. So, but yeah, gap them all, see what you prefer, and 60s are fairly unnecessary most of the time.
Yeah, like that. Here we go. Brian Neary says, I returned to golf 3 years ago after a 20-year break. I initially obtained a handicap of 26. I am now 7.9. My bag is made up of Cobra F7 driver, unfitted, 25-year-old 3-wood, Rife irons, American golf entry-level clubs, McGregor MacTech wedges, a mallet putter, ball is AD33. Considering I am now 65 years old, realistically, what would I benefit if I was getting a fitting, as I don't expect ever to get closer to scratch than I am?
First of all, keep doing what you're doing, because that's great improvement.
Yeah, well done.
How good's
yeah.
that? And just go with the last of that question again.
So what would he benefit from going from a fitting with what his bag is already? I would probably say from that, you would just sort of uncover that, like, it would just show you where your gaps are potentially, or if there was, you've got driver, 3-wood, and then some rife irons, so you might be missing. It might just be that you need a hybrid. So it'd just be a case of hitting your longest iron, your 3-wood, and then finding the gap in between. You might, and if you're happy with all this stuff as well,
don't tinker for no reason.
Just go with it.
I think possibly ask yourself the question, do you find yourself in a similar situation a lot of the time around your local course where you just don't have the club for it? Like, do you find yourself being 220 yards out all the time and you'd like to go for the green, but you can't, whatever it is? If you've got a gap or you've got a scenario on the course that frustrates you, then maybe go and look for that. But go into the fitting and maybe tell them, if you do want something, tell them a yardage that you want or a scenario you want to be able to compete in.
Yeah.
And like you said, Matt, if you don't, then don't.
Yeah. Adam Dingle asks, what would you consider to be a minimum amount of rounds per year to see decent consistency in lowering your handicap? Play for 30 years, but normally only about 6 or less rounds per year. My golf shake tracking is a great picture of what an inconsistent golf game is like. And then he's got scores like 98, goes down to 85, goes up to 110. So if you're looking for consistency...
Interesting question.
Yeah.
Look, you've got to play and practice to be able to improve, or at least to expect consistency. If you're going to, I don't know if you do get frustrated at the 105, but if you're going to get frustrated at that 105 only playing 6 times a year, then maybe don't get frustrated with it.
Best's 85 and then worst is 110. So you're probably looking in the middle of like breaking 100 will probably be your consistency.
Yeah.
I would probably say you need to do something maybe once a week, whether it's a range session or a round of golf.
Yeah, and the round of golf is obviously very difficult time-wise. If you're probably not going to join a golf club when you're only playing that much, but if you can go and play 3 holes, 6 holes with the spare hour in the summer, that'll do the world of good. And something we spoke about, was it last week's podcast? Practice your short game.
Yeah.
If you can be decent, one thing you will lose if you're only playing 6 times a year is feel.
Yeah.
You get there and you think, well, I don't know what my 25-yard chip is. You spoke last week about a wedge chart. If you can just pull your wedge chart out your bag, wipe the dust off it because you've not played for 6 months, and swing belt to belt, at least you've got something going for you.
Yeah, try and rely on that. Yeah, definitely. J Lum asks, who's better, Rick or Pete? Pete. Fraser Milne says, I've seen you change putter a lot over the years. What would you say is important about picking a putter? For me, it's literally like...
feel.
Yeah, if you pick it up and it feels right in your hands, like whether it's a mallet or a blade, definitely. I would say probably for, if we looked at like, say, your average golfer, alignment aids would be better. Maybe a mallet putter. We've seen what happened to Scotty with, him changing to his mallet and his putting stats improving, but something that helps you align easily, and on those mishit putts, you get a little bit of forgiveness out of them. Right, Tom, let's move on to what... would you rather? And if you have got any of those questions as well, do make sure that you're emailing them into info@mattfryergolf.co.uk or following us on the socials, Facebook, etc., Instagram, or just put them in the comments of the YouTube channel. Let's hit them with some would you rathers, Tom, to finish off this delightful app.
Me first or you first?
I'll let you go.
Okay. Very fitting for today's topic. Would you rather drive it like Rory? Or chip it like Scotty?
Ooh. I think I'd rather chip it like Scotty,
Stop agreeing with me.
Yeah.
Stop coming up with the same answers as I do.
I drive it as well as Rory, so...
Well, you don't, but my thought on it was... I can get up and around the greens, whether I hit the green or not, even if you're having a bad approach day, most of the time.
Yep.
So chip it close and put it in and I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I've seen both of them up close and personal, and I would say I was probably far more impressed. I managed to walk 9 holes with Scotty inside the ropes at St Andrews during the 150 Open when we were up there doing some stuff with Mizuno, and he joined a group that I was taking some photos for, and watching him around the greens, I was like, that was all like, oh wow, like, how did he do that? And that was like really keen into what did he hit there? How did he hit that shot as well with Rory? It's like, yeah, I see how you do that.
Yeah,
like that's just like he's got pure talented at that, like best driver of our ball of our generation. But the chipping was more my forte.
Agreed.
Okay, would you rather, Tom, win a 2-night trip, 3 rounds at St Andrews?
Yep.
For you and 3 friends. The old course is one of them.
Oh.
Yeah. So you get to stay in the old course hotel. You get to play 2 rounds, maybe the new course, the old course. You 3 friends. Yep. Or you get to win a full bag of anything you want, golf clubs wise. Like, fully custom fit, fully, like, you've always wanted that Scotty from wherever.
Send me to St Andrews in the rain.
Really?
Yep. I'm at St Andrews. I'm playing golf for 3 days. I don't care on the weather. Send me there. I've never really, just having that conversation before where we're saying if you like the shiny new stuff, of course we all like shiny new golf clubs.
Yeah.
But it's not my biggest buzz. I would be, I don't tinker with equipment a huge amount. Yes, it'd be amazing, but send me to St Andrews.
I think it would pretty split 50-50 on this.
What would you be?
Depends who the 3 friends were. If it was 3 that I was like, I'd definitely take the bag.
Well, yeah.
But no,
St Andrews in the rain.
Yeah, I would probably say, yeah. Or, if it was a golfing holiday, it didn't have to be St Andrews, I would probably say the holiday, the experience is, more than me having a brand new bag.
When the driver's got a sky mark on it.
Yeah.
It's got to go.
Yeah.
Regardless of how good the fitting was.
Yeah.
I will always remember laughing because I've just topped it off the first of the new course.
Yeah.
And
True.
then knocking it on to about 10 foot with a 4-iron. And did I make the putt for a 3?
Mm-mm.
No, of course, you'd remember that.
Nope.
I have positive thoughts. But yeah, I remember those things. The experience for me.
Yeah, like that one. Okay, hit me one more, and then I've got one more, and we will wrap up.
Okay, club champs.
Yeah.
Match play club champs. You're on the final hole.
Yeah.
Would you rather, and this is more me getting an insight into your sort of head and attitude, would you rather your playing partner or competitor makes a 25-foot birdie putt to win? Or
what, so I lose?
You still lose. You're losing both of these.
Oh.
Or you miss a 3-foot putt to lose.
25-footer.
You're having him make it rather than you missing.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't miss from 3 foot anyway, so that's irrelevant.
You've just missed for the first time in 6 months from 3 feet.
So does he make birdie, I make par in the other scenario?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather lose to a birdie.
Okay.
Than me, like, miss and go, oh, like, I've gifted you the hole.
Okay.
You shouldn't miss a 3-footer.
That's fair.
What would you do?
I'd take the same.
Yeah.
It was more insight of talking about you sometimes being hard on yourself, having your head offs. It was more a case of how hard are you on the you making a mistake. Would you rather lose by you making a mistake and you forgive yourself, or would you rather just say, well, I couldn't do anything about that? He's made a birdie.
I'd rather, play my best and lose to better. I wouldn't want to gift a win. That would be, there's nothing worse. I've had a few that happen in like match play when I used to play, and it'd be like, oh my God.
It's horrible.
Get me a new putter because I've just snapped this one in half.
Not the new Matt.
Not new me, no. I actually oiled it, put it back in its head cover and said, it wasn't you. We'll go again. Don't be hard on yourself. We can always do better.
You can do this.
Yeah. Let's all go for a cup of elderflower tea.
Your turn. Go.
Right, last one. Would you rather, in your next round of golf that you're going to play, you're playing on your own, you've decided you're going to go out for 18 holes, it's a nice sunny day, and you thought, you know what, I've got 18 holes in me here. You go out and you play your best ever round. So you think, I'm going to stroke play on my own, I just want to gauge where I'm at, and you shoot your best ever score.
By myself.
By yourself. Or you're out there on yourself, same day, round's okay, you get to that par 3, it's a little bit blind, hit a good shot and you think, oh, Could be close, that. You get up there, ball's in the hole.
So I'm playing by myself and I didn't see the ball go in.
And the ball in, yeah. Or you could see the ball go in. But you get up there and you've got a hole in one. I don't know what, I literally am torn with this.
I famously still don't have my first hole in one. Right. You've killed me with this. One of my main WhatsApp groups I am in is called the Hole in One Club and Tom. Right. This group has, amongst a lot of other stuff, has multiple pictures of me having pitch marks of just me dancing the ball around flags and not making a hole in one.
Is there a time limit on for you to get a hole in one before you're ejected from the group?
No.
That should be introduced if any of Tom's friends are listening.
No, but famously, and you know what? There'll be an article go out. It'll be like, oh, Jeffrey made 2 hole in ones in one round, and they'll just send it into the group.
I'll get a picture then when we're up at 13th. There's a plaque on the 13th hole at Warrington that says, I think it's Roger Shutt and Brian Shutt, who were father and son, made a hole in one together.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done, Roger.
Good shots. Amazing.
So are you taking hole in one?
Well, then I'm by myself.
No one believes you.
Imagine me putting that message in the group going, lads, I've done it. And when they didn't believe me or said didn't count, then actually one of the hole in ones in the group was by himself. And he didn't see it go in. He seen it when he got up there. And I give him a lesson the day before.
Oh, right. So it was your hole in
one.
So it was
my hole in one. And it doesn't count for him.
So what are you picking?
I hate you. I'm taking my lowest round. Because my hole in one needs to be legit, because there needs to be no arguments.
Yeah.
The group name is changing to Tom Got a Hole in One, and it's going to be a picture of me standing there by the flag, giving them the middle finger, and that's now the group.
You're playing on your own as well, and the clubhouse is closed afterwards, so you can't even get a beer.
Oh, cheaper, I suppose.
Yeah, cheaper, but
I'm taking my lowest round purely for that reason, because I can't have any little asterisks next to my hole in one.
I'd take the hole in one.
You have it. Fine. Add it to your collection.
Yeah, okay.
I dare you.
It's just another one. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I was on my own for one, but, not really bothered.
Did you know that was still a group name asking that sensitive question?
No. But It's comedy. But someone, if your friends are listening, please put a time limit on. If you've not got one by the end of 25, remove him from the group.
Honestly, the amount of pictures where I'm just like, oh, good. And the pitch mark, the hole's there, the pitch mark's there, and my ball's gone. And then spun back to here. It's like, it's not going in.
Oh, dear.
And I just get a load of laughs back.
Oh,
so, good way to end. I'm going to go and cry in my car on the way home. Dream of a hole in one.
And never get one. My dad's never had one.
You know what? All the proper players and best coaches haven't had a hole in one.
Yeah.
I'm in the same category as Adrian.
There we go.
We'll end on that note. Thank you very much.
Remain dead inside by not having one. Guys, thank you for listening. Guys and gals, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week for another pod. We might have a guest on. I've been speaking to someone. Don't know whether the diary will work, though. But if we do, you will hear their dulcet tones on here. If not, it will be me and Thomas back in the studio. Thanks for listening. Remember to follow us and subscribe to all the channels, and we'll see you very soon.